So,
good morning.
hello, how are you?
I'm good. Or are you talking to our audience?
I'm talking to our audience.
Okay.
Yes. So we thought we would do a video for check-in during the holidays. This time of year can be pretty stressful for everybody, and especially during COVID times, it's even added another layer of stress and anxiety. So we wanted to check in and give some thoughts and strategies on ways that we can maybe help you de-stress during the holidays. So what are some ways that you find stress during the holidays?
We do Hanukkah, so it's not, I feel like there's not as much pressure maybe as with Christmas. And plus we don't have a lot of family around, so it's pretty low key. But the things that I hear from family and friends are that the main things that cause stress are the gift buying, the cooking, although it might be less this year if less people are getting together, the decorating, and this pressure to make it something huge, and the pressure that's got to be so special, and there's something you have to do in order to make it so special and meaningful.
Yeah, and I feel like especially now, it seems like because things are different, there's this added pressure to make it even extra because of the COVID time. So it's, not enough to just do what you normally do, but because we might be missing out on something that we've done in the past, there's this added need or feeling of pressure that I think a lot of us just put on ourselves to do more and do extra, when this time I really think we need to be pulling back and taking care of ourselves and focusing on what's important, and finding ways to be creatively celebrating with our family and friends, but also taking this opportunity to kind of reevaluate what's bringing us joy during the holidays and what's actually making things stressful and not as much fun. So,
and I think especially if you're a parent, if you have kids at home, or if you have elderly parents, there's an added pressure to make it extra special for them because it's been rough for the kids, and also for older adults not being able to see their family and have those gatherings. So there's this extra pressure to make it extra special.
So some things I've noticed is that there seems to be a lot of added pressure on social media. And I know we've talked about social media and limiting our exposure to the news or limiting our exposure to negative input. But I feel like social media right now is kind of double-edged. There's a lot of good things that are coming out of it, like good strategies or good ideas that people are posting, and you're like, oh, that would be really fun to do. But I also think this time of year is really difficult for those who maybe are unable to do those types of things, or you're seeing what other people are doing and wishing you could have that or do that. So I would challenge you to evaluate what you're getting from the input you're receiving on social media. And if it's not bringing you a good idea or something that's sparking interest, there's no harm in snoozing people. There's a little button on your phone and on your computer in Facebook where you can snooze certain people for 30 days. And you may just need to take a little bit of a break from things that aren't bringing you peace and joy. And if it's bringing you stress or adding pressure to compete or keep up with or things like that, like certainly a piece of self-care is realizing that certain things aren't actually helping you and that you maybe need to take a step back. So one suggestion I have is to snooze things on social media that you're maybe struggling with. In terms of the logistics of the holidays,
I have a social media thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No, that's okay.
Also with the social media stuff, if your phone pings and rings and beeps and plays chimes every time you get an email, every time you get a Facebook alert, every time you get a work email, think about just shutting off some of those sounds, at least temporarily. If it's not going to affect your work too much, turn off the sounds, because every time you hear that beep or that you have that urge to kind of pull up your phone and check. Right. So just doing that can make a big difference.
Yeah, I think this constant input that we're getting from everywhere, it's, the news right now, it's either about vaccines or it's about going out and cutting down your own live Christmas tree. Like, I think more people are thinking that's fun this year. If anyone's ever actually done that, it's not quite the Norman Rockwell scene that I believe it is expected to be. So I think there's these expectations that we're now placing on ourselves that may be somewhat unrealistic in terms of trying to find fun and joy. So,
and when the emotions don't match the activity, like you're expecting, because of what you've seen on TV or anywhere else, or what you see your friends posting about cutting down a tree, and you're like, all right, I'm freezing, the kids are whining, and the emotional experience doesn't match what you're expecting. It can just be a letdown, and then what's wrong with me? Why is nothing fun? And you just end up spiraling.
Yeah. I think in terms of decorating, again, I think there's a lot of pressure to do the same thing every year. Everything's very traditionally based around the holidays, and that could be any holiday throughout the year, but especially during the end of the year holiday season, it seems to be, decorating, getting everything out. But right now, this time of year, if you aren't feeling it, then, just because you don't take out the same thing that you've taken out for years doesn't mean that holidays aren't going to be as merry and jolly. So I really think the way to approach it is, do I want to do this? Is this fun? And if it's not, then there's no harm in, taking a year off or reevaluate whether that's important or not.
And be creative, pulling out all the stuff, draw a few things, get the creative juices flowing, have the kids each make their own pseudo ornament, even if it's drawing something on paper and sticking it to the tree. Be creative. Do something that sounds fun to you and feels like it's going to be fun.
And another way to kind of give back is that I think there are a lot of people in isolation right now, older folks who are in facilities or unable to visit, or hospital settings, kind of bringing that back to light with your family, and maybe, making cards and sending them or dropping them off somewhere can kind of allow for gratitude in your own life, but also be sharing kindness and giving back to others. And so that's a nice way to kind of focus energy that you might not have had the time to do in the past because you might be visiting with more people. So taking that opportunity to kind of give back and be grateful is a really healthy way of de-stressing and also improving your mental health, and makes you feel better. So Michele had some really good thoughts on cooking, which I am not a fan of. So I usually get to go somewhere and enjoy other people's cooking. So the idea of having to manage that myself is not ideal. So what are your ideas?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of cooking either. I like to bake once in a while when I'm in the mood, but I think that's one thing you can do is everybody pick their favorite restaurant. And you won't be able to do it on Christmas Day because a lot of them will be closed, but maybe the day before. Everybody order their favorite food from their favorite restaurant in the area, and then you all pile in the car and you go to each of the different restaurants. Everybody gets to pick up their favorite food, and you go home and everybody's eating their favorite food from wherever it's from. And then you get enough so you have leftovers for the next day. That's 2 days, no cooking.
I know, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And you're supporting local business, which I think really needs that. And to that end, I think in terms of shopping too, I think a lot of people got caught up in the hustle bustle of going to the malls or going to the bigger stores. And that's really, can be concerning at this time. And I think really taking an opportunity to check out what's local to you, what maybe taking a little bit more time to pick something that maybe isn't, you're looking for the quantity, but, really taking some time to pick out more gifts that are unique, and then, maybe spend a little more time wrapping them so that if you're not dealing with volume, that's more manageable. And again, you're supporting your local community, and, it just can really feel a little bit more special as opposed to the, driving and, getting into traffic and managing crowds and being concerned about all those things this time of year. So.
And if gift buying is a stressful thing for you, speak to your family and friends. Let them know, you know what, I'm so stressed this year. Is it okay if we do gift cards, or if I just do gift cards for you? Tell me your favorite store to get a gift card from, and everybody gets a gift card and they can buy what they want, so that you don't have this pressure to find the perfect gift. So that can help. Or make a pact in your family. You know what? Can we skip gifts this year, or can we just do a $10 minimum? And then you go on one store and order a bunch of little things. So whatever you can do to simplify it, if that's the thing that's stressing you out. And don't be afraid to share with family and friends how you're feeling and what your most stressful thing is, and why you're doing it. I think there's a lot of people in the same boat, and people are more understanding.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think there's a lot of pressure because everyone feels like they need to keep up with what's been done over time. And everyone has a different comfort level with where we're at in the pandemic, and what some people are more willing to take part in, what they're not. And so keeping that perspective will also help you if things change, if you're not invited to something or someone isn't interested in partaking in a typical traditional activity. Realizing that everyone has their own level of anxiety surrounding this, their own reasons for doing things, and that trying not to take things personally if things are different, but also then giving other people that freedom and that respect, that if they are not feeling comfortable, that you kind of give them that permission to do that too. And I think that will feel better as well. And I think open communication is the best way to do that. So letting everybody know how you feel. Sometimes that can take the pressure off of things. I think everyone is feeling pressured to do the same things. And I think the more we support each other, the better as well.
And one more thing, don't feel pressure to send those holiday cards every year. If you are feeling overwhelmed and you're seeing the deadline approaching, if Christmas is your deadline, don't send them. I know some years instead I've sent Happy New Year cards, or I've sent no cards.
I actually have a friend who did an amazing thing this year, which I thought was creative. And apparently she does it every year, which I didn't realize. But she goes through and creates the card and then takes a picture of it and posts it on Facebook. And so everyone gets to see the Christmas card, and she posts it on Facebook. Beautiful. And then just says, like, I'm not mailing these out, but like, enjoy. And I think I thought it was a really smart way to, kind of go through the process and share out what holiday greetings, letting everyone know that they were thinking of others, and that, they were sharing their photos from the family, but yet weren't at the point where, financially or mentally, or time oriented. I don't know what the reasoning is, other than it was just I went, wow, what a great idea. Again, I think we get so stuck in what we do every year, and it's a checklist every year, the to-do list and the same things. And it was a really creative way, I think, of still acknowledging the holiday greetings, but without it needing to be so stressful. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to be creative and think outside the box. So,
and you know what? Check in with yourself, check in with your family, and think about what is it that makes a day really special for you. Sit down. Is it spending time with family? Is it writing in a journal? What is it that makes a day special for you? Really think about it, and then try to incorporate those things.
Yeah, and I think that'll go a long way too. Just because I don't think we check in with our families as much. Everyone thinks, the train set has to be set up every year, but who really wants the train set? Some people really want that done, or the certain tree decorated, or we have to go do this or that. And which parts of that do people really need to continue doing, and which parts, maybe everyone picks their favorite part of the holidays, and who knows, maybe all you eat for dinner is mashed potatoes because everyone agrees the mashed potatoes are the best part of the meal. That's my bias.
While on the topic, Kelly, do you mind if I get you a gift card this year? Because I'm really feeling, would a gift card be okay?
I would love a gift card. Yes. And a cool idea with that, I was just thinking while we were talking about that, is that, you could even get gift cards ahead of time, and I could buy myself the gift, and then we could share over Facebook, or FaceTime what I bought myself. And then that would be kind of fun for you to see what I decided to buy myself. So I think there's a lot of neat ways that you can come up with, but the moral of this whole story is to check in with yourself during the holidays. If you're finding that none of these things are working, there's no harm in also checking in with someone who can help you, staying in contact with your friends and family, but always feeling like you can reach out for outside help if things are really just not, you're just really finding yourself stuck. It can't hurt to reach out to someone who can help you with that. So Awesome. All right. Well, feel free to share with us anything that works for you. You can check out our website at www.wellnessoutsidethebox.com. We have a Facebook page and an Instagram. And so we'd love to hear how you're creatively celebrating your holidays or not. And we wish you all the well for the holiday season and a Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.